The writers of the latest Mission Impossible movie understand that if you want something to be awesome, you put Rogue in the title. Yeah. Mission Impossible. Rogue Nation. So I should probably start off by pointing out that I've never really been into the Mission Impossible franchise. Going into the movie, I wasn't as excited as someone who's been following the movies for years would be. I mean, hell, until Ghost Protocol, I never even saw any of them. And as such, it felt like there were moments I was missing out on, like bringing Ving Rhames back. So Rogue Nation didn't really impress me all that much, but that does not mean it was a bad movie. Speaking objectively, it was actually pretty good. But let's just keep going. So Tom Cruise's character Ethan Hunt returns yet again. He's hunting another group of super covert agents known as the Syndicate. Only this time he's doing it without mission support because the IMF has been officially dissolved by Congress. So the story follows Hunt as he travels internationally trying to uncover who's running this organization, why, and how they're funded. Now I found that a lot of the movie was actually pretty predictable. Scenes set themselves up so that as soon as a problem arose, you already knew what the solution was going to be. So really the only thing you have to look forward to is the action. That was probably my biggest problem with the movie as a whole. Well, that and the villain. The main villain was a guy named Lane, played by Sean Harris, and he spent the entire movie sounding like a bad Marlon Brando impersonator. I actually spent several scenes trying to find out if he stuffed cotton balls in his mouth. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. But let's focus on the positives. Comedy was intermittent, but it played off well and I did get a few laughs out of it. The acting was good and everyone played off each other well, and it was obvious that the characters all had history together. The action was actually pretty good, and more impressively, Tom Cruise did most of his own stunts. For those of you who don't know, the scene in the trailers where he's gripping onto the side of the plane as it's taking off, he actually did that 8 times apparently. He literally held onto the side of the plane, in a harness of course, while it took off. I mean, damn! Talk about dedication to your craft! But speaking of action though, there was a scene in the middle of the movie where Tom Cruise had to go underwater for a little while, but he couldn't take any metal with him because that would have set off some alarms. So he had to hold his breath for 3 minutes. Well, the movie kind of fumbled here. He was given this gauntlet that had a timer as well as an oxygen meter that measured how he was doing, but since he wasn't actually using an oxygen tank, all of the oxygen measured was coming from his lungs. And I'm just sitting there watching this thinking, that's not how breathing works! I mean, the movie establishes that he has 3 minutes to do this and that he's going to have to do all this underwater and hold his breath, so the timer on the glove alone would have done just fine. There's no need for us to know his oxygen levels, and we understand he's running out of breath. So that kind of took me out of the moment. So with all that in mind, I'd say that the movie was okay. Not bad. Not great. At least I didn't think so. But again, I didn't grow up watching these movies. So have you seen Rogue Nation? What did you think? How does this fit into the Mission Impossible storyline? Is this an improvement? Is it a decline? What do you think? Whatever your thought is, comment below and tell me about it. One thing you gotta give the series though, that theme song is fucking awesome. Tissues don't make a good substitute for cotton balls.